Page 28, tune of the tuba. Ooh, okay. On page 26, they give you some things to do with elephants. Isn't that nice? I guess. They're pretending that a quarter note gets a count. And if a quarter note gets a count, they want you to add up the total number of counts for all the notes in the elephant, or on the elephant, and write it in the little box. For instance, in the first elephant, there's a dotted half note and a quarter note. Well, quarter note gets a count. We've already decided that. And remember, I told you a dotted half note's the same as 3 quarter notes. Just memorize that. Well, if you take the 3 quarter notes there plus the quarter note, the beat for the quarter note, that's 4 total. So you'd put in a 4 in that little box under the elephant. So in the second elephant, there's 2 eighth notes. Well, there's 2 eighth notes and a quarter note. So if a quarter note gets a count, then an eighth note gets half. 2 eighth notes would be the total of 1 count. So there's a 1 goes in there. And the next one, it's a quarter note and 2 eighth notes. Well, that's 2 beats. 1 for the quarter note and 1 beat for the 2 eighth notes. In the second row, half note and 2 eighth notes. Well, there's 2 beats for the half note and 1 beat for the eighth note, so you can figure it up. It's 3 beats. With the next one, that's a whole note. That's 4. Same as 4 quarter notes. That's 4 beats. And then the next one is a quarter note with 2 eighth notes. Now these eighth notes are not beamed together. They got flags. It doesn't matter. As far as counting them, it's the same. So it's 2 beats total. And then the last one, you got 4 eighth notes all beamed together. And they can do that. Well, again, there's 2 eighth notes to a quarter note, so 4 of them would be 2 beats. And then you got 2 half notes, which is the same as 4 counts, right? And then the last one is 2 eighth notes and a half note. That's the same as a half note and 2 eighth notes. Like in the second row, the first elephant, it's the same number of beats. Just the notes are not in the same order. It doesn't matter. The total is the same number of beats. It's 3. Then on page 27, something here with hens and chickens or something. They want you to write in the time signature. We're quarter notes. So you know the bottom number in the time signature is going to be a 4. You just got to figure out what the top number is. So find a measure somewhere in the line that's it's clear to you how many beats are in that measure, and that's what the top number is going to be. For instance, in the first line, we got all these quarter notes and eighth notes and stuff going on. Ugh. Well, if you look in the third measure, there's 3 quarter notes. Well, that should be pretty easy. It's 3 beats. So it's 3/4 time. In the second one, I got to find a measure that's easy for me, and I look at the last measure and I see a whole note. Well, that's 4 quarter notes, so that's 4/4 time. In the third one, find an easy measure. The last 2 measures, you got 2 quarter notes or a half note. Either one of them will do. There's 2 of them, so that would be 2/4 time. And then the last one, again, find a measure that's easy. I see 3 quarter notes. It's like the same as the first line, sort of. It's 3/4 time. So that's how I do these time signatures. I'm not going to go through each measure and try and figure each one out. I go for the easiest one I can think of, and that's what I'm going to use to give the answer because I'm lazy. But you can check the other measures and you'll find that they have the right number of beats in them according to the time signature you already put in. Now let's talk about tune of the tuba. At the top of the page they talk about 2-note chords. I want to talk a little bit about that. We've already done a 2-note chord and we had these 2 notes together before a piece earlier. That's a 2-note chord. But again, there's a lot of things about music that people don't agree on. And I need you to understand this stuff because if you happen to be talking to somebody or you're reading something, you may run across somebody who disagrees. That's okay because people don't agree. Don't try and convince them they're wrong and you're right. And don't allow them to try and convince you that they're right and you're wrong. Just drop it. People don't agree on the definition of the word chord. To some people, a chord is 3 more notes. You have to have at least 3 notes. 2 notes is called something else. They got another name for it. I don't remember what it is. I don't even care what it is. This book and me and other people agree that a chord is 2 or more notes. You see, the idea with a chord is you're hearing harmony. Harmony is when you hear multiple notes at the same time. That's harmony. So anytime I can hear harmony, to me, that's a chord, and I can hear a harmony with 2 notes. I mean, it's there. I don't need all 3 notes. That's fine. I don't even have to be together. Any 2 notes. That's harmony, and to me, that's a chord. So just understand that some people won't call 2 notes a chord, and other people like me and this book does. And the idea is you see them in the music and they're stacked up, they're connected. You play them at the same time. Look in tune of the tuba. In the upper staff, you have that here, an E and a G, and they're lined up there. You play them at the same time. So on beat 1 there you have a rest, and then on beat 2 you play it, and on beat 3 you play it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then in the second line, if you look at those are not lined up. Well, the problem is they're too close together. They can't line them up. There's just room. So they have to offset them. So it's an F and a G. Just play them at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 1. I know it sounds wonderful. Don't worry about it. And that's how these work. And I put my hand in the position of the fingers I need, and I lower the whole hand down. I don't hold the hand still and try and use the fingers. No, you lower the whole hand. Drop the weight gently on those fingers. So at the beginning, it's a 1 and a 3 here, and that's going to be this hand position. We're out of this position. We've always been in this position or this position. We're out of that. Now we're in this position. Well, isn't that fun? Doesn't matter. Whatever the music says, that's the position you use. So here, and I'm using 1 and 3, so I've dropped those fingers down, and I'm lowering the hand down. Listen carefully and try and get the notes down at the same time. I don't do very well at that, but maybe you can. I've even heard pros not do it too. In the second line, it's the F and the G. You're in the same position as them. Those fingers are down, I'm just lowering the hand down. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't stiffen up and play with a stiff wrist. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Not a lot, just a little. So let's look at tuba and see what he's doing. It's a 1.5 line long, treble and bass clef, no sharps in the key signature. So now we're back in the key of C major, 3/4 time signature. The hands are playing at the same time, except I've already covered the right hand. So I'm going to go ahead and put both hands together. Shortens the video a little bit. But you're welcome to work out this left hand by itself. That's okay. But just to shorten the video, the left hand is here, and we already know the right hand is here. So we're here. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I got to hold that down for 3 counts. As I'm doing that, I'm holding that down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Get the idea? You go through and put the hands together. Then go through any hard parts you have and get rid of the hesitations. You also need to be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. Then we can think about the interpretation. There's no words to this. We just got to rely on the music. The natural accents for 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. This 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. The right hand isn't playing on beat 1, so it's not playing on the natural accented beat until the last measure. Then we can think about the phrasing. Well, there, I'm looking for the melody, and I'm going to play it kind of quickly so I can hear. I'll try and hear the musical thought, the musical sentence. See, I hear 2 sentences there. The first one, that's 1 sentence to me. And then the next one, that's another musical sentence to me. So I'm going to lift up between them. Lift up. It's like taking a breath. Of course, in the right hand, you have to worry about is you got rest and chords. You can't connect these repeated chords. You do the best you can. As far as the speed goes, it's up to you. I have to play the melody quickly so I can hear the phrases. That doesn't mean that's how fast I'm going to play it, because I might slow it way down. And remember to bring out the melody. We want to hear the melody. These are soft. Even in that last measure, that's the melody. This is soft. See, I want to hear the melody. I'm not going to play the melody loud in order to make it louder than the other stuff. I'm going to play the melody where I want it. And the other stuff just has to get in the background. You got to learn to play this softly. It's just very little weight, very little weight. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to play both hands about the same because I need you to hear them. So I'm not going to bring out the melody, but I am going to lift up between the phrase there, between the second, third measure, the second line. And I'll lift up because that's a new phrase in the left hand. 1, ready, go.